This is Steve Hubbard with AMVSR LLC. What you're now looking at is the editor screen of the typical software that court reporters use, as well as their backup support people called digital text editors or scopists. They're able to take the sound file as well as the MP3 file or other audio file that's compatible with their system, as well as the working rough draft that the court reporters expertly took down with their machine shorthand. But this is an output that, as you can recognize, is the transcript that we made using AMVSR voice-to-text technology. So we'll just quickly scan through that, but you'll recognize the words that were being used. So now we're going to jump back to the top of the page. Okay, here we are. Now, in a moment, I'm going to show you how easy it is for a CAT scopist who is familiar with working with this technology to take the raw data, the raw output that the automated speech recognition technology produced, inserting Q's and A's, speaker identification, etc. And we're going to use this model here to do just that, as if this was like a deposition with a lot of Q&A, and formatting the transcript as we go along, and how quickly it can be done, which will, of course, advise the viewer, hopefully the lawyers, who can see, my gosh, if I can get this kind of turnaround very quickly as a rough draft, even by adding in the Q's and A's, which would help me, but otherwise we know that we can have each line of this text here synchronized to the audio like you're familiar with Trial Director, Yes Law, Visionary, and other utilities that are out there that court reporters typically use when you videotape a deposition where you order a synchronized transcript. Well, we can do the same thing with the rough draft and allow you to have the transcript to be able to read and search with, and we'll show that as well later on. But for now, we'll go in a moment to give you how it can be quickly edited, and as you'll hear the voices that created the transcript. One moment. What I also need to tell you is that you're looking at a program that's called Express Scribe. This is an Australian program that was developed for transcribers to transcribe from the PC keyboard, character for character, using a foot pedal or just hotkeys like function keys on your keyboard for stop, play, rewind, fast forward. And here we have, I'm just going to start playing the audio right now.
Now, what's the guild doing to lobby to make that a requirement?
Now, I'm just using
the short answer is
for my keyboard here, as a CAT scopist would do it, working for a steno court reporter, just using the home key and the page up key and the numeric pad key.
So we're doing quote unquote nothing to lobby
to stop and start the video or the audio in this case. And as they're listening to the audio, they're also tracking the text and filling in the punctuation. So that's what you're going to see now. Hi again, this is Steve Hubbard with AMVSR LLC in Alexandria, Virginia. What you're seeing here is a few minutes ago I was listening to the audio file, the same one you heard briefly in the immediately above demonstration video of the NCH software called Express Scribe that is very popular amongst digital QWERTY keyboard typists. I mean the standard keyboard that typists use to type character for character, word for word, off of audio. And a lot of that audio today is recorded trials that many state courts, 50% of our United States courts at state level, are using strictly audio recording only. There is no stenographer present in any way, shape, or form. As well as in the federal courts, for quite some time, U.S. magistrates courts and even Article III judges are only using digital means to record the testimony, and then there are a number of contractors throughout the country that bid on these quests to get that transcription business. And a lot of money is spent to transcribe these hearings. Also in the United States Bankruptcy Court, it's all audio. Very rarely are they using stenotypists to do it. So we're using that kind of audio to now play it back, the same audio that created the working rough draft that you saw in one of the first two videos in the Word program of creating the live transcript. I say live, I mean it's the audio that's creating, in essence, the post-hearing transcript as you saw. Now, what I'm doing here is making the corrections according to the audio, and you can see how quickly I'm doing it. This is a real-time event, so that when I hear or I'm making mistakes in my writing and typing on the keyboard, and I'm not the fastest person to do this either. There are plenty of very, very experienced, knowledgeable CAT, computer-aided transcription scopists, people who work day in, day out with their employer at arm's length, the court reporters who use the same CAT program, computer-aided transcription program again. So they share the files, the audio file as well as the digital text output that the court reporters used to make the transcripts. Whether it's in your presence in the courtroom or in a deposition or an arbitration, and you're maybe ordering the real time or the rough draft at the end of what only a stenotypist can do at this point. But we're not in that market, AM-VSR. What we want to do is be able to show you that instead of hiring the court reporter and at the very high rates that they all charge, that you might be very well satisfied with what we're presenting here, so that when you make sure that the audio is properly digitally recorded at least 192 kilobits per second. We can describe what that means later, but the digital court reporters that we send out, they know exactly what I'm talking about. So you get that radio television quality. And when you have that kind of quality, you're going to get a synchronized transcript, as I've mentioned in the writing in the earlier videos, posted for $1.50 per recorded minute, shared between and amongst all the parties. But if there are only two, then it's only 75 cents each. You have access to a very impeachable record to use to impeach a witness with the next day in court, 24 hours later. We have 12-hour service as well as same-day service, as well as those are basically the services that we offer. And when you add the synchronization process of linking the video or the audio to the transcript, you can play that back later on. And we use, by the way, Yes Law, but there are other kinds of, and you may very well be acquainted with Trial Director. They use DepoView. There's Yes Law that we use to do the synchronization of our audio to your initial working rough draft, and we use the same program to synchronize the final transcript if you want us to do the final transcript as well. So when you do that for a pittance, a fraction of what you're normally paying, you have that option to making that decision after taking a number of depositions. Do we need the full 15 depositions transcribed, or are we happy with only depositions number 4, 7, and 11? Those, we need those completely transcribed and certified, and the others only partially certified excerpts. That's all we need. And if you're in trial, like you are in Maryland, it's very easy now to have the whole record at your disposal, so your appellate divisions can now get together and maybe narrow the issues and not have to order the whole transcript, as you have to do now. You just maybe order 15 or 20% of the full record, and you argue those in the Court of Appeal. Thank you very much.